Hey y'all, it's your girl Simone, and I'm your host of Complex Simplicities. Last episode, I discussed my relationship with being a low maintenance black girl and my journey with self-care. You can go tune in on Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. It's a video podcast, so if you're not the biggest fan of solely auditorial listening, go tune in to the video podcast on Spotify, because it's a video. Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. Go check it out on all three or whichever you prefer. Anyway, that was last episode. Received amazing feedback, but this one's going to receive amazing-er feedback. Yes, I said amazing-er because I'm manifesting it for myself already. So on today's episode, I'll be discussing how I am a quitter. So, what even is a quitter? What is being a quitter? How do you quit? Essentially just boils down to me not wanting to be in the same vicinity as disrespect and uncomfort. So the way I define quitting would be removing myself from instances, circumstances, and situations that no longer serve me. Because when my spirit is like disrupted and or disturbed, I'm leaving, you know? It's not me throwing in the towel at the first sign of what it is that is causing my uncomfort, but it is me finally just relinquishing and letting go of whatever it is that I'm having an issue with, you know? Quitting is a process. It's not necessarily just one of those things that you just, or for me, at least it's a process. I don't like leave at the first sign of uncomfort. It's more so whenever I'm undergoing something for a certain period of time and I realize that it's no longer serving me and the things that I enjoy doing, I leave. I protect my peace, you know, because peace and sanity is vital. Health, mental, physical, and spiritual is wealth. Quitting is a process. It's not just me leaving at the drop of a dime. I used to do that. I used to be really bad at that. Like, soon as shit would get hard, I would be quick to dip. Fight or flight kicks in, and I flight. I don't ever fight. I don't like to engage in discourse or dukes. I just like to dip, you know? No discourse, no dukes, just dip. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like being in conflict. In my head, I like to think that I'm a confrontational person and I'm really with the shit. But in reality, all delusion aside, I'm not that girl for the one-on-one. I don't do all that. Like I mentioned earlier, being a quitter or quitting to me is removing yourself from circumstances and situations that no longer serve you. That's pretty much all it boils down to. I understand that shit is going to hit the fan. However, when shit hits the fan, I get to choose whether I want to be in the room with that fan. I used to quit at the drop of a dime. When shit wouldn't go my way, I would just, when I was unhappy, when I was uncomfortable, and it wasn't like always that easy as I'm making it sound. Like I wasn't just one of them kids that just like gave up super easily. But I did notice that if I couldn't get it after a little while, I'm done. Like there's no point of even trying. Because if I'm not perfect, then why am I trying? That's how I felt about it. And that's not the way to be. Conflict builds character. I'm growing out of that and I'm relearning that because I still have tendencies of doing that. There's levels to this quitting. You know what I mean? Like there's tiers to quitting. I think that's first tier. Like quitting soon as shit hits the fan, that's first tier. Second tier is like quitting because you've been doing it for a little while. So you're starting to realize that it's really not giving. So you kind of like just take a few steps back, kind of remove yourself just a little bit, and then you vanish. And the third tier to this quitting shit is knowing yourself so well that after a period of time of constantly enduring something, you know to chuck up the deuce because it's not for you. But yeah, that's how I used to quit. Just at the drop of a dime, and that just truly plays into like my lack of self-confidence in self. When I was a child or when I was younger, I would just quit because I wasn't confident in the things that I was doing. I wasn't confident in my ability to succeed. I wasn't confident in my ability to step up to the plate. I would just give up, get frustrated, give up, get annoyed, give up, get irritated, give up. There's also positive and negative manifestations of what quitting is. So let's get into that. A positive manifestation would be like, if I feel like my presence is no longer wanted, I'm no longer there. For example, if starting a new job and you feel uncomfortable in the environment and then it's been like a week and then you just quit, like no. I mean like if you've been there for months at a time and shit is going to get difficult. So conflict building character, there's that. But then if it's like not resolving and if you can't find a resolution and if you're talking to bosses and managers and coworkers and shit is still not melding together how it should be, out of there. You don't got to worry about it. And what really kind of set off this, like I said, I've always been a quitter, essentially. But what really triggered this, like, maturity of quitting for me is my fallout with my father. Me and my dad, like, reunited when I was 18. Literally, like, last year. And then it just, like, fell through. So that kind of really solidified quitting, in the process of quitting for me, and finally realizing that it's okay to not endure abuse and not take abuse. It's okay to realize something is not for you, no matter how bad people around you want it to be for you. It's okay to not do things other people want you to do because you don't want to do it. So that's really what kind of like made this like this, it just maturized quitting for me. I don't even know if maturized is a word. I doubt it, but I said it. That would be like a positive manifestation for me of quitting, realizing it's not for you. So since it's not for you, since it hasn't been for you, and since it probably won't be, leave, you know? A negative manifestation would be getting in an argument with your spouse and leaving because you're uncomfortable with uncomfortable conversations. On one hand, I learned whenever I'm in an environment that I'm uncomfortable, I have the right to leave. But on the other hand, you have to endure some sort of conflict to a certain extent to build character. And I'm not saying conflict always builds character, but in some circumstances, conflict can mold you into a stronger person. For example, perfect example, going to the gym. You know, when you go to the gym, you're literally breaking like your muscles down. You're tearing rips in your muscle tissue just for them to build back up stronger. So that's you're picking up what I'm dropping down. All right, now with quitting comes detachment. Being an unapologetic quitter has really taught me the art of detachment. Lovely. It is an amazing thing to be one with detachment. It is amazing to be able to remove yourself from certain situations mentally and physically, but more so mentally if you're still in that environment, and still like remain victorious. I'll give y'all a perfect example, and hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble, but perfect example. At my job, literally everyone cares about everything that happens, even the shit they cannot control. But me, don't give a f, because at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's not that I don't care about my job. I'm super grateful and appreciative that I do have a job, that I have money to pay my bills, that I have money to spend, blase. I am grateful to have a job. But I'm also not about to sit up here and make myself sick because a multi-billion-dollar company lets one person calling in affect the entire program. Not doing it. Like I said in the last podcast, may have to work a bit harder, but I'm not tripping off that because like I said, it is what it is. Like just stuff like that, especially at work, just doesn't bother me anymore. Cause it's like, this isn't my establishment. I'm here for a check and to go home. So I'm not taking that work home. For some people, it's not that easy because you spend all your time here. You spend countless hours here. You're spending your physical there. You're being very laborious all day, every day, all hours of the day. So of course you want your job to be comfortable. You want to enjoy working there. You don't want to have to deal with the little petty shit. So when the shit arises, it makes you feel some type of way. Of course, you can feel some type of way, but don't let it like sink into your psyche. That's just like what the art of detachment has taught me. Don't let it sink in. You can feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it's going to be what it's going to be. That's all I can say. And the art of detachment has also taught me that you can't control everything, so expect nothing. That may sound harsh, but it's not. Because when you like set expectations for people, places, and or things, that's how heartbreak comes about. Because you're expecting things and they're not meeting up to the expectation. Therefore, you get disappointed. So, expect nothing. Yeah. That's really all I got to say for this podcast. I don't really have much else to say other than I'm a quitter. I'm an unapologetic quitter. I'm going to quit if I feel uncomfortable. But then again, quitting is a process. So I'm not going to quit at the drop of a dime and detach yourself from situations that you can't control, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. And you really can't do shit about it. But the things that you can do shit about, make sure you do shit about it. or you're always going to be uncomfortable. So, yeah. That was a little short podcast episode. Didn't really have much to say other than what I said because, I don't know, like, I'm just a girl with a camera and an observation. So, yeah. Hopefully this comes together nicely. Fingers crossed. That was today's episode. Go check out last episode. And tune in to the next episode when the next episode comes out. That's it for Complex Simplicities. Simone, signing out.